Hello. Welcome to my YouTube page. In this video we will walk through a straightforward Python program. In the beginning I will give you an overview of what I plan to cover, then I will switch over to Python idle editor, walk you through the script and then run the program in Python shell. At the end, if you've enjoyed this video, please consider liking, sharing and subscribing. Now let's begin. For this first Python program, we will develop a computational model for an extremely simple problem. With any Python computational model, the first step is to understand the problem, the second step is to find the mathematical representation or formula, then understand how to implement the mathematical model in Python, and lastly you need to have knowledge of how to test the program for correctness. Now, let's switch over to an example problem. In this first problem, we will cover temperature conversion from Celsius to Fahrenheit. The first step is to understand the problem. Essentially, Celsius and Fahrenheit are both used to define what the temperature is. The relation between Celsius and Fahrenheit is proportional. Both have a different freezing point of water and both follow the varied unit difference between each scale. The next step is to find the mathematical representation for the conversion of Celsius to Fahrenheit. Given the Celsius value, the formula is Fahrenheit equals 9/5 multiplied by the Celsius value plus 32. The next step is to implement the mathematical model in Python. Now, let's open up Python idle editor. First start out by putting identification information for the Python file enclosed by 3 apostrophes. For the program file name, let's title it Celsius to Fahrenheit.py. Then the author information, and for that, I'll put my name Lewis. Next the date, which is July 15, 2022, and lastly I'll put a short description of the program. Let's describe it as this program converts Celsius to Fahrenheit. Okay, let's get back to implementing this conversion in Python. The first thing you want to do is to define the input value. Because the known value is in Celsius, let's title the input value as C equals float, open parenthesis, input open parenthesis quotation mark, then type the statement, enter value of temperature in Celsius colon, then close the quotation and close the parentheses twice since we have 2 opening to the input statement. The input statement reads a value of a variable from the input device, in this case, the keyboard. This will display the string literal enter value of temperature in Celsius and reads the value of Celsius. Now here you'll see I put the keyword float. The keyword float will take input values and convert the specified values into a floating point number. Next, let's further define the actual Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion formula in Python. The formula is Fahrenheit, represented by F, equals Celsius, represented by C, multiplied by 9/5 plus 32. The next thing that we want Python to do is print the value of temperature in Celsius and Fahrenheit with the following print statements, print open parenthesis, quotation mark, then type the statement temperature in Celsius, colon, close quotation mark, then a comma and the letter C as C represents the Celsius value. Next close the parenthesis. For Fahrenheit, the print statement is print open parenthesis, quotation mark, then type the statement temperature in Fahrenheit, colon, close the quotation mark, then a comma and the letter F as F represents the Fahrenheit value. Next close the parenthesis. The print statements are used for the output of variables and text strings. These output statements write the value of one or more variables to the output device. Okay, now if you remember earlier, we have to test the program for correctness, so let's run the module. In the Python idle editor header, click Run, then click Run Module. After the idle shell opens, let's input 30 as the Celsius amount, then click Enter. Based on the Python computational model we just created, Python is going to convert 30 degrees Celsius to 86 degrees in Fahrenheit based on the formula we input, thus proving the correctness of the Python program. Thank you for watching my video. If you've enjoyed this video and found it informative, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. Please hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload videos to YouTube. I'll see you next week with a new Python video. Until next time, take care.